Hey guys, it's Pierce, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing Active Directory to Windows Server 2012 R2. This is going to be part of the playlist which I've been making, which will be how to set up Windows Server 2012 R2 and get your business off the ground. So what we want to do is log on here, so we'll just log on to the server. You can go to the playlist before and see how to install Windows Server 2012 R2. So once we've logged on, what we want to do is we're going to come down to the network interface and check that we have an active network interface. So we have to have a DHCP server on the network, and we also have to have a gateway. So once we have those set up, basically all you'll see in here just says connected, and there's no little yellow thing next to it, which means you have internet access. So now here you want to go onto control panel, so just type in control panel. I just find that easier for some reason. Now just come down to large icons, scroll down, move across to network. Once you're onto network and sharing, click change adapter settings. Right click on Ethernet and then click properties. You want to click on IPv4 and then click properties. We want to set a static IP address according to your network in here. If you don't know what your network's static IP address, or what your network's IP range is, you can just open up CMD and type in ipconfig, all one word, and it will give you what your IP address is now. So for instance, in the lab here, we know that our address is 10.0.0. the number. So we're going to set up the server under 10.0.0.222. We're going to set up the subnet as 255.0.0.0. We're going to set up the default gateway as 10.0.0.1, and we're going to use the two Google domain services, which are 8.8.8.8 and 4.4.4.4. Then we're just going to quickly recheck that, which I've done. Now what we want to do is go back to here, click large icons again, come down to system, and you're going to give your system a name. So what we want to do is click on advanced system settings, click on computer name, click change, and you want to give your computer name. Here in the office we have a thing about Nintendo characters, so I'm going to name the server Princess Peach. Okay, so once that's done, click OK. That'll take a moment to think. Now once you do this, you'll need to restart the computer, so you want to press OK. Try and make sure that no one else is logged on, because if someone else is logged on doing something and you restart the server, people are going to get pissed off. While you're here, you might as well give the server a description, so I'm just going to give it the Adaptec Video Server description. Click apply, click restart now. The server will now go ahead and restart. Come on, restart. So this will just go through and restart the server, and you'll land back at the Control-Delete screen. So press Control-Delete to sign in, use the administrator password to sign in, and then click Enter. Okay, once you're back here, what you'll want to do is you'll want to wait a second for Server Manager to start up. If you've got auto startup for Server Manager disabled, you want to come down here and start Server Manager manually. So we have it disabled, so we'll just start it manually. Okay, once Server Manager is started, you can't just straight up and go manage straight away. See how there's that little loading bar? What will happen is if you go to add a feature or role, this little error will pop up. So you want to OK that, wait a second until two errors come up down here, so we'll just do that. Okay, there's your errors. So now you just want to click manage and then add a role or feature. This will come up. So simply click next, then click next again, assuming this is a server you want to install it to, which we highly assume it is. So you'll just click next. Now you want to add Active Directory domain services, so it should be the second one down. You'll want to add all the features that requires, and then once again click next. Once you've done so, you'll want to add .NET 3.5 and .NET 4.5 to the frameworks, and then click next again. And click next. Automatically restarting the server is recommended, so this will just think for a second and you click install. This will go through for a while and install the stuff to the server automatically. We've just sped it up for the fact of you don't have enough time. So we'll keep this video down to 15 minutes as much as we can. And then what you want to do is once that's gone through and installed, it will take a moment. Come on. Okay, so this little warning up in the top corner here will pop up. Basically, it wants you to promote the server as a domain controller. So you want to add a new forest, and you want to type in the domain name. So we're going to use adapt.it, I believe I used, or something along those lines. So there we go. Adapt-it, I think. Yeah, we couldn't use adapt-tech because that's what we're already using as our domain server in the office here. So we'll click next. Now there's a bit of loading in this process, so you just want to let that load up for a moment. Okay, assuming this is your first server in the network, or is now going to be your primary server, or any other servers that are going to be newer than this, you want to set your domain function level to Windows Server 2012 R2, and your forest function level to Windows Server 2012 R2, and your domain function level to Windows Server 2012 R2. Once those are set, you'll be prompted to put in a password. So we recommend a strong password that you will remember very easily. Because if you ever want to deactivate this domain server, you will need to put in this password to deactivate it. So we'll just wait for that to pop up. Come on. Yeah, this can take a little bit of time, just depending on when things on the server, or what's happening on the server. Okay, so see how these little two asterisks have come up here, these little red asterisks? You'll want to put in the same password twice there. Make sure you remember this password. This password will basically be the key to unlock the domain server. So, once I get my act together and type in the password, it'd be nice. Come on. I believe at this stage I was doing something. Ah, there we go. So I'll put in a strong password. And again, click next. Okay, click next again. This warning is only just telling us that there's no DNS server. It's fine, it will go and create the DNS server for us. Okay, so for the net BIOS name, this will load up for a moment. And then it will automatically populate the adapt-it net BIOS. Okay, so there it goes. After this appears, simply click next. It'll do some more loading. And I believe, yep, it goes through. Just keep clicking next pretty much after this. Then the server will want to restart. So once you restart the server, there it goes. Yeah, the server will restart. So once the server restarts, you'll actually see in a moment applying the group policies, which is from Active Directory. So just give it a moment, and it should, there we go. Applying security policies to the system. What this is, it's Active Directory booting up in the system. So once again, Control-Delete to sign in. Now note here that it says adapt-it/administrator. This means that it is now actively running the domain services. So once you've done so, reboot the server, wait for server manager to pop up, and then just exit that. So we'll just wait for that to come up. Come on. For an SSD based server, it is actually really slow today. There it goes. Still going. Okay, so what we're going to do is exit that when it gives us the option to. Come on. Poor people don't have all day. Okay. So now we want to go down to the Windows button, click more icons, and then you want to activate, you want to go to Active Directory, Domains and Computers. Now go into the users group and you'll see there's only two users in here, Administrator and Guest. But you'll see there's a lot of groups. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to come to, where is the button, where is the button, where is the button? Oh no, that's right, you want to minimize that so it goes back to this sort of view. Now you want to come down to new, and then organizational unit, where is it? Oh, there it is. You want to type in groups or something along those lines. We just typed in groups because it was simply easier. Click OK, and now you have a groups folder. So go back to users, and then select everything that is not a user. So all the groups, why is it doing, oh jeebus. Okay, we'll just do it this way. Okay, so anything that's not a user, so you can see the guest and admin accounts are still there. Now just drag and drop all those icons that aren't users into the groups file. Click OK. Okay, now what we want to do is create a new user, and we want this to be our administrative account. So I'm the administrator in the network, so I'll just create up the account Pierce. I'll just leave the last name blank, full name blank. Okay, so username, I'll just type in Pierce, and then we'll click next. Okay, I want to put in a strong password, so I've got my strong password here. We'll want to disable the fact that the person needs to change their password at the next logon, and we'll want to make it so that their password does not expire. That last step's not optional, not needed, but it just makes things easy. Okay, what we want to do now is come into the users folder and open the properties on the administrator group and properties on the new administrator that you just made. And just put those two on the screen somewhere side by side that you can quite easily read them both at the same time. Now let's click add and then type in A for administrators, click check name, click administrators, click OK. Now do this repetitively for every group. So D for domain admins, click OK. E for enterprise admins, click OK. G for group policy owners and creators, I believe. Yep, press OK. And S for scheme admins. And press OK. Now press OK again. And just check that all those are the same. And yet again, press OK twice. Hit exit and you are done. Now what we want to do is, this is just an optional step, but I would highly recommend it, is now you want to sign out of the administrator account. Press Ctrl Delete to sign in. And you click other user. Now to log into your account that you just made, so that's Pierce, and the password is my secret password I had before. Now sign into this, wait a couple seconds for it to boot up, because this is the first time we've signed into the account, so it will take a moment. Okay, there it goes. Now what we want to do is we want to come down to Active Directory domains and computers when it gets the chance to. Come on, server manager, you need to exit so I can do things. Okay, so now come down to Windows, more icons, Active Directory users and computers, click the domain, then click users. Now we want to just come in here, right click properties and account, and we want to change the username of this. This just gives us an extra layer of security, just in case we have someone intrude into the network trying to use the administrator account. So we just want to put them as admin, so it's not too obvious, but then it's not too hard to remember. And we want to disable the administrator's account. This gives us an extra layer of security on our servers. Anyway, we're done now, so be sure to like, comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys.